Are you ready to take a chance?
Who's that?
Roll the dice to see which video you have to make. It's dice rolling time. Gnosticism!
Gnosticism. It's wacky and fun, but if you want to understand it, first you need to understand Plato. Plato believed that the soul was like a man in a chariot pulled by two horses, and he was trying to get high enough to get to the divine realm where he could join the gods. And depending on how close he got to the gods, he could be reborn either as a man or something lesser. Plato describes the realm where the gods exist, this higher realm, as being synonymous with true being and knowledge. Now, knowledge should catch your ear because the Gnostics are named after gnosis, which is knowledge. This is what Plato says is what a soul sees when it's doing its circuit. In its circuit, it sees justice itself, sees self-control, sees knowledge. It's the soul that pre-exists the body and sees this realm that becomes a philosopher and a human. Plato describes it like this: "For the soul which has never seen the truth shall not enter into this shape of ours." This shape being a philosopher human. Not all souls make it. There's three types of souls in Plato's thought and Phaedrus. There's pure ones who get wings when they die and they fly high to the divine realm. There's other souls that are sometimes good and sometimes bad, and they see the realm of light but they don't have any wings. And then there's the third who are evil and give in to all of their desires, and they end up wallowing, quote, mindlessly around on the earth and under the earth for 9,000 years. So much for Plato. Now we're going to talk about Gnosticism. Gnosticism has something really similar to Plato's celestial arc, but instead of being called that, it's called the Pleroma. In Gnosticism, there's three main characters. The Pleroma, which is a collection of what are called aeons, but it's really just gods. And then there's what I call the dunce. And the dunce is one of the aeons who screws things up. In the tripart tractate, it's called Logos. Usually it's called Sophia. And then there's also a third entity created by the dunce, that is the god of the Bible, who is often described as a serpent with a lion's head named Yaldabaoth, but is also called a bunch of other names as well. The fake god of the Bible is said to create the earth, which is usually seen as evil, but in the tripart tractate, it's just seen as this neutral training ground. In any event, it's not the real Pleroma, and it's knowledge of the Pleroma that leads to salvation. After the dunce screws things up, they have an act of repentance where they return to the Pleroma. Depending on the Gnostic text that you read, this return to the Pleroma creates the souls of the good guys, the Gnostics. It does that in the tripart tractate, but in other Gnostic texts, this dunce aeon goes down and plants a seed of the Pleroma in some of the souls, and this is what creates good people. So notice how it's always something that happens before your life that determines whether you're going to be saved or not, because it's only those who are created by the remembrance of the dunce or by the dunce putting the seed of the Pleroma in you who end up becoming Gnostics. They're the ones who end up having the knowledge. This is similar to Plato's Phaedrus, where the soul's final destination is determined by what they did before they were born. It's those souls that came close to the communion of gods, but really it's the Pleroma. It's the souls that came close to the Pleroma before they were born that end up becoming philosophers in the next life, which is similar to Gnosticism. It's those souls that come from that active remembrance and repentance of the dunce aeon, or are given a seed of the Pleroma, that end up becoming saved. So from this so far, we can see several similarities between Plato and Gnosticism. First is the Pleroma, which is the same thing as the celestial arc. Next, those pre-life causes for salvation. It's something that happens outside of your life that leads to salvation. And salvation is intrinsically related to knowledge of the Pleroma or celestial arc. In both Plato and Gnosticism, it's described as there being three types of souls. In both of these works, the material world is fake or incomplete/evil, and the real realm is the Pleroma or abstract thought or the celestial arc. Knowledge and being are kind of the same thing in both of these texts. They both deconstruct God. In the Republic, Plato questions Homer's idea of God and deconstructs it in the same way that the Gnostic texts deconstruct Yahweh into Yaldabaoth. They both believe in reincarnation. You can see this in Phaedrus and in several Gnostic texts. If you want to see me go into more details on these texts with citations and quotes, I can, just let me know in the comments. If you would like to donate to this channel, you can do it with my Buy Me a Coffee. If you don't donate to this channel, I'm gonna clobber a baby seal.
I'm gonna club this baby seal! That's right! I'm gonna club a seal to make a better deal!